3 Palestinian terrorists operating in Egypt Sinai desert breached Israel's border and opened fire using anti-tank missiles against 2 private Israeli cars. They killed 1 Israeli civilian and seriously wounded another. Israeli soldiers who were called to the scene pursued the terrorists and killed 2 of them in a gunfight. Now, the attack seems to point to a dangerous transformation underway in the Sinai Peninsula just a little more than a year after Egypt's popular revolution. Without the tight security restrictions once imposed by former President Hosni Mubarak, the Sinai has become a haven for all sorts of terrorist groups who now seem to operate freely and without impunity. The terrorist group that snuck into Israel Monday killed a 36-year-old Israeli civilian from Haifa, a father of 4, as he drove to his construction job. Army officials say their quick response prevented what might have been more large-scale attacks.
We have 2 terrorists that we killed. A third one is possibly in the Egyptian side and being looked for now. I can tell you that there is a very big amount of explosives that these terrorists carried upon their bodies. They came very well equipped with flak jackets, helmets, grenades, camouflage uniform.
It's believed the terrorists intended on carrying out attacks, perhaps suicide bombings, in some of the 5 neighboring Israeli communities, including Nitzana and Kadesh Barnea. For several hours while the Israeli army secured the area, those communities were in lockdown, with roads closed and children staying home from school. Deadly raid was the second one launched from Egyptian soil in less than a year. Last August, Palestinian terrorists killed 8 Israelis in a spree of shooting attacks near the coastal city of Eilat. The Israeli army believes the Gaza-based Popular Resistance Committee carried out those attacks with the help of local Bedouins. Officials say that same terrorist group may have carried out or helped in Monday's fatal raid.
This incident has similarities with the incident that took place last August. The gear is very similar. The fact that some of the members of the squad remained on the Egyptian side is also similar. And overall, they also looked for targeting Israeli civilians.
Last summer's attack, which also led to the accidental death of 5 Egyptian officers, provoked Israel to speed up the construction of a security fence along the 220-kilometer border with Sinai. So far, 180 kilometers of steel mesh and razor wire have gone up. It's slated to be finished by the end of the year. But Defense Minister Ehud Barak made it clear that keeping out Palestinian and al-Qaeda-inspired terrorists from the Sinai is first and foremost Egypt's responsibility. Calling the deterioration of Egypt's control in Sinai, quote, disturbing, Barak said he expects whoever wins the Egyptian presidency to honor the peace treaty and put to a swift end attacks coming from Sinai. Prime Minister Netanyahu also weighed in, saying the attack would not stop the construction of the fence, which prevents infiltrators and terrorism. It's what he called a supreme national interest. In a telling sign of just how concerned Israel is about the security situation in Sinai, the army has moved at least a few tanks into the area and stationed them close to where the attack happened. This is quite an unusual move, given that the 1979 peace treaty says that the area around the Sinai border, both in Israel and in Egypt, must be demilitarized. Now, that changed last summer after the big attack near the city of Eilat. Israel and Egypt agreed to bolster their military presence to try to keep the quiet. It's unlikely that those Israeli tanks will be permanently stationed in the area. Jordana Miller, JN1, Jerusalem.